When I was 21, I started to explore letting sound come through me and other ways to produce sound. And it was sort of a process of archaeology, chipping away and finding this source of bringing through these frequencies.
Good morning, David. Lovely David Edward. And you come to us today from UK. Are you coming from
Yeah.
London?
I'm coming from London today.
Oh, yay. And you are, for those who don't know you, an exquisite musician. I'm going to call you an exquisite musician
Oh.
because there is an ethereal and, can I say, angelic frequency to your work that immediately attracted me when I first heard you and made me very curious about who you are and your music and tones and what that is doing for the world. So, can you tell us, or can you dive in and um, tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, well, first of all, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for making this happen. And it's actually my first time speaking about anything angelic in this way. So I'm really excited and
Yay.
if not a little bit nervous, but um, yes. So I'm a musician and I've played music all of my life. And I studied classical music for many years, piano and violin, and I trained extensively on the violin. And whilst it was a blessing, it was also very tough. And there was always a sort of feeling that like something's not right. It's like I'm
Mm.
playing music, I'm serving music, but something's not right. And it was about when I was 21. I started to explore other ways of letting sound letting sound come through me, and other ways to produce sound. And it was sort of a process of archaeology, self-archaeology, of like chipping away, and finding this source which had been buried beneath so many layers. And that's sort of the process that led me to where I am today, of bringing through these frequencies. And as you say, they are ethereal and angelic. Um, and through exploring my own voice, it's sort of been the catalyst for transformation in my whole life. It's sort of like the voice is an enlightened being. I'm not. So it's like when I'd break through into accessing that frequency, then the rest of me would go through like sort of like a shock.
Oh,
Sort like the conditioned human which had grown up in this society and in this world had to start catching up to the world that I was uncovering. So it's like the
mm.
voices, it's not been a light journey. Well, it has been light, but the
Yeah.
light has been, you know, full of trials and tribulation. And it's been a journey of many deaths, I'd say. And the voice has been a great catalyst for that, for spiritual awakening and expansion and death.
I love that you've just said that you are serving music. It's a very beautiful way of expressing what you do because And it doesn't take much to read all the comments that get left for you. People are very moved by the frequencies that you bring through. And so it is serving humanity to a degree. And it sounds like it is you as well, for you. It's evolving you
Mm.
um, in a way that's probably almost like an ascension journey, I suspect. I was so curious to find out whether you'd come from a background of music because I was quite open to the idea that it just happened. You know? Yeah. And but actually there's something so ancient about your music. And I almost want to get into it and let people experience it now because we're talking about something, it's like talking about a taste, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So would you like to just dive in and give us a feel for your beautiful sound?
Okay. Del mi toro de
Oh, David, I feel quite moved to tears almost. Oh my goodness. This is what you do.
Oh,
This is what you do. Is it a frequency, a lineage, or a calling?
I love that. I think it's all three.
Okay.
It's a dance between calling for the frequency intertwined with awakening lineage. And I think in this current time, they weave together. Um,
Yes, indeed.
yeah,
Indeed. Do you sense that you channeling angelic realms, or is it your higher self, or do you not know?
it's a good question. It's been quite the interesting journey of archaeology.
Hmm.
Always comes back to archaeology of what is this? And for a while, I thought it was all outside of me, that I'm a channel and I'm channeling things. And then this is true, but it's also within. And it's like when I feel the angelic frequencies, they come through because they want to remind me and the world that the angel is within us. Um, yeah,
So it's almost like a multi-layered process. I'm just summing this up in a way of almost receiving, remembering, and translating or transmuting energy. Yeah.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes. And personally, some of it has also been remembering my star ancestry and star family. And I've been on a beautiful journey of remembering where I came from. And there was a lot of pain in it at first because it brought up this like sense of abandonment and like being a soul on earth and being lost for so long.
Mm.
And then from that, a joy arose of remembrance and a recognition that as a soul, it was part of my journey and many of our journeys to forget our divinity, to then remember it, to then anchor in that frequency of remembrance for ourselves and the collective.
I think you've just summed up why we're here. I think it is that. The more I listen and dive into the subject, I believe it is exactly that. And this slight sadness that you mentioned of feeling abandoned, if you like, or lost or alone is something that's a universal quality that we all tend to have.
Mm.
And the and that's part of the journey. I mean, I do wonder sometimes if they're up there going laughing. And I was getting so upset and so worried and so concerned about it, getting it right.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, yeah.
Do you prepare yourself at all, or does it just come through?
It's funny. It's like that's been quite a laughing dance, I'd say,
Yeah,
of in the most undivine situations, I'll just start bubbling it. Like I'd be on the tube in like closed off area. You'd think your chakras would not be connected.
love this.
I'd be on the tube and just just singing and feeling so connected. And then there'd be other times earlier on in my journey of like, okay, I'm gonna get all my crystals on, gonna do all the things. And I created so much preparation and expectation that I was like blocking it, which led me more to the it is within as well as out. So now I am learning that middle ground of preparing and just sort of like letting myself know and letting my soul know, okay, it's time to open up. In a couple of hours, it's time to open up. And I sort of feel my, is it it could be etheric body, you could say, or I feel my soul or star seed sort of have eyes and they're like, okay, they're like getting ready to open up and to feel safe to open up.
How beautiful. I want to be on the tube when you bust into song with you. Did you get reactions? Do you have reactions from people?
Well, on the tube, it will do usually just be quite like quiet, just
Mm.
quite like for myself. But sometimes I just can't help it and I let it come, and there'll be the occasional person who will listen and receive a little bit of something
Mm.
in
Mm.
their day.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, but to answer your question earlier, I am from a musical family.
Ah.
All of my family are musical, and I, as a child, just dared not stop singing, just constantly, all the time.
So your parents and your siblings must be delighted with what you're doing.
Yeah, I get, yeah, they are. They are. It's definitely been a journey of it not being what they expected,
Mhm.
which you can probably imagine.
Mhm.
But they are really coming round to it and receiving it, which is really beautiful. Yeah, they're
It
very
is.
supportive. They're very
Oh,
supportive. They've always supported music and my growth. And yeah, it's being born into my family was the perfect sort of environment to explore and to be a sound being, to be a musician.
do you have a sense of where your origin is from in the stars?
I have seen it and felt it, um, and I have a sense that it could be serious, um,
Mm.
but I'm not 100% sure. And then sometimes I feel like it may be a hybrid. I don't know, but I'm trusting the sort of unfolding of getting to know more details about that when it serves and when I'm ready.
I want to talk about the tones you bring through and the language, the light language.
I'm kind of open to what it is. I mean, light language does resonate.
I mean, your voice, in the musical sense, is it falsetto? Is that no?
No,
No.
it's
Mm.
just kind of, it feels like it's just kind of, I see it like a totem pole because it feels important to say that I'm androgynous. You could say two spirit, and I'm in a male body, but I've never felt like a man, and I still don't. And I'm learning to live like in the middle. And before I drank ayahuasca, I was caught up in such fantasy, which was beautiful. That was part of my awakening to nature. But the fantasy was rooted in me not being in my body at all. So I was living like, "Whoa," beautiful, but I was not in my body. So she severed it. I was forced to go into my body, and then I'm now in my body, able to actually hold frequency. Um, and it feels important to say because I feel like my kind, there's been so much confusion of what our role is. I won't speak for anyone, but I definitely feel like there is a lack of real grounded spiritual support. And it's like you go to festivals and you see divine masculine, divine feminine, and then there's a queer tent, but it's like, I don't really identify with being queer. It's like we are, you know, we're here for a reason, and it can be very difficult and complicated holding so much feminine energy in a male body in this society and sort of there's narratives that it's a disorder, it's dysphoria, but it's like
Oh,
I don't agree with
no,
that.
no.
It's it's
Hey,
nature.
absolutely. And I hope we're heading towards this beautiful integration. I'm just going to share with you a little story of me. One point going through just a beautiful cacao ceremony and having a meeting with my higher self. Okay. And when this is where I can't even say she or he, right? When they turned their head that way, I saw a beautiful woman. When they turned their head that way, I saw a man.
Mm,
And I thought, both. I'm both.
yeah, yeah,
Just that or that. It's as simple as that.
yeah.
And I do believe, probably, although there's, people come through with some very direct delineation that possibly happens for whatever karmic reason they need,
Mm,
that it goes very much one way or the other as far
yeah,
as the gender goes. I feel that the higher expression is both. So I'm hoping that it will be that in the future or
yeah,
now, really, because all those labels are talking about, all those um, diagnosis drop away at that point.
yeah.
And we could say that humanity's been very much skewed, perhaps in the male direction
Yes.
for very, eons, centuries. And
Mm,
now there's a recalibration happening, which is perfect. Um,
yeah,
with that is perhaps some of the experience that you're having and other people are having, where you're outwardly manifesting that balance is being labeled as unbalanced. It's very strange. It's this really,
it's
really
yeah,
weird perspective of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I feel you. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's interesting, but it's so worth it. And it's like so many of us inherit shadow masculine and shadow feminine, and we have to like work with both of them to bring them into unity. And for me, it's been confusing of like when I allow myself feeling so feminine, and then I grew a beard to like balance myself. And then recently I shaved it off. The beard was like holding me, and then I shaved it off, and I was like, whoa. And it just was like goddess energy. And I'm like, why do I hold so much of this Shakti in a male body? And it's like, it's to work with it and
Yeah.
to bridge.
Yeah.
And it's just, it doesn't need, it's hard not to label things. Humans love labeling things, but I really feel you in that I hope that we're coming into some sort of, as more and more of us reclaim our true nature and reclaim our femininity, then actually it will balance out and it'll be more of a dance.
Yeah. Do you receive guidance?
I do. I have learned to receive guidance that is clear, um, and it doesn't always go how my brain expects it to go. There's always surprise, but I do. And recently I've been working with the Archangel deck from Diana Cooper, and they've been very helpful and like very present. And they were calling for a while, the archangels. Um, so I've been working with them, and I also receive guidance from my soul of just trusting soul knows what to do. Brain, support soul, listen to soul. And then soul will guide me of what to do. And with my voice, for years I'd make little noises just out of self-soothing. I'd self-soothe through noises. And then recently I've realized that noise was actually my soul speaking to me, and I use that noise now as an anchor to blossom from it. Like it regulates me. So,
Mm.
yes, I do.
And maybe we should all listen out for what our soul is saying and not be too fixed about how it will come through. It could be a
Yeah.
little sound.
Yeah, it could be a little silly sound. Like my one was a sound that I'd make when I was very grumpy. And then from that, I'm like, oh, that's the key. That's the key. And it's like, it didn't come in like a big activation or a big sort of like, it was like, it's my grumpy noise that then I can anchor into and recode from and then blossom and really, yeah.
I love that. I love that. What's my noise? I'm going to listen out for my noise because I bet we all have one. I bet we all have
Yeah,
one.
we all have one, and
Maybe a
many.
sniff,
Yeah.
or something like that. It might be a, sort of a tick, something we do. Yeah, yeah.
And even like animal noises can connect us to our animal guides, or even past lives we've had as animals, and they help us in this life say what we need to say. Like in the little corners that we're just like, oh, that's just nothing. It's like that's often where the codes are and where the key is.
That's such food for thought. I want people to go away and find their sound now.
Yeah.
What do you believe that sound and is doing to the collective consciousness right now?
Ooh. Ooh. Hmm. Sound in a lot of mainstream has been hijacked by forces which aren't even dark, they're just distorted forces. And I feel like that's getting more intense, whilst this new wave, this new age of people really reclaiming their voices, of women reclaiming their true power and frequency is shifting everything. And sound used in the right way, frequency used in the right way can shift everything. Um, which is why so much of the music we hear just, it's like it catches you. It's like, and it's got you, and there is distortion which stops people from slowing down and connecting to Mother Gaia and connecting to the frequency within themselves. I feel like just like everything, how the old world is falling apart, music is so important with that. And personally, I've had to cut out so much of the music I used to listen to
Mhm. Mhm.
because once I awakened, I then heard it for what it really is. And I'm serious about that. And what some artists, pop stars are doing on stage, it's just all out in the open that it's taking people's energy, it's harvesting energy. And it's like out in the open now, and no one even, everyone's like celebrating it, which is part of the crazy times of
We live
humanity
in. Yeah.
we live in.
You know, coming from a film background myself, the same is happening in film. And um, I found myself a few years back, I turned off from news, and I said to my husband, if there's if there's a tidal wave coming, let me know. Let me know if there's something I really need to know. But otherwise, I don't need to know. Okay. I don't actually
Yeah,
need to know any of this.
it's all codes.
Yeah.
Everything's codes. And it's like when we are receiving those codes all the time, they're going to have an effect on us because we're highly sensitive. And it's like, I'm seeing like it's a cage in coded form.
Hmm. And I'm with you that sound is such a transformative tool of alchemy, really, for helping us to lift out of that.
Yeah.
So your time on Earth, and I want to talk a little bit about Earth and Gaia and nature and how that's been an influence for you and how this beautiful frequency manifests.
Hmm. I take my time with this one. It's definitely been an interesting journey in this lifetime of being disconnected from nature or sort of out of a rebellion of some sort of closing off for many years. And my connection with trees sort of came through my paintings and art. I was always drawing trees and painting trees and molding faces into trees. And then it was in 2020, which I think is a pivot for many people. I just was blasted awake to seeing the Fae everywhere, seeing trees as just totem poles of face after face after face, of just realizing what I already knew, but what was covered.
Mm.
Um, that nature is ready for us to wake up and to be with her. Yes, I hope that some of the frequencies that I share can help bridge that journey
Mm.
for myself and for others to sort of it's bridging the gap between Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and all of the art that I grew up watching, believing that was the fantasy, to then bringing that into a reality that, like, no, that is the world we live in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like art imitates life, it's not the other way round.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it's like, yeah, no, that we are living in. I sometimes feel like I'm in the real Harry Potter, like I'm in this world and like it's like you've got Voldemort and you've got the all of the it's just like but I see a future and a present now that we're no longer living in the fantasies of films, that we're actually embodying our true magic and awakening to our gifts, which are so much more than we were told.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, it was sort of, I used to go out into nature in like Lord of the Rings mode. I'd be in that fantasy, and then I slowly realized, oh, it's actually all real here. And every rock, all the rocks, they have a spirit and a soul, and they speak and they move. And it's just like we just have to give them chance to,
Mm.
and then they will.
They beautifully hold space for us, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
They're so patient. That's all I can say.
Yes, yes. And yeah, for a while, going out into the forest wasn't a pleasant thing. It was a painful thing. People say, "Oh, go to the forest and you'll be healed." And it's like for me, because where I was at, I was picking up on all of the disconnection and like feeling the pain that there's litter by the trees and like how things could be and how things aren't, and feeling some of the trees, especially here in London. I sat with a tree a few weeks ago and it really was we saying that we love you, but you ignore us and you take, you take, you take, you take.
Mm.
And especially the trees here in this
Mm.
city, it's like a lot of pain to
Mm.
to work through and transmute. And I've also had to learn to have boundaries, to only let in the frequencies that are serving my highest good and me serving theirs, because there's some grumpy frequencies out there too, and some quite
And right now, I'll just say it feels like a lot of them are they're like, they're vying for airtime,
yeah.
and
Mm.
which I've come to understand more that there's good reason for that. There's a clearing that's coming in that, and to just sit with it and acknowledge and not be too concerned. I know exactly what you mean. The bombardment of sometimes imagery I get, I think, where is that from? Just a glimpse, a moment, just a flash of something. It's like, oh, yuck.
Yeah.
And I don't even, I go, I don't want to even believe that might be happening right now, somewhere, somehow. And
Hmm.
maybe it is, or maybe it did, or maybe it's just clearing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that. And
yeah.
it's definitely clearing.
Yeah, it's just a little hard to be around when it is. And I think a lot of sensitive souls out there are feeling that um, quite keenly at the moment, which is where your music becomes a very beautiful point of getting us out of those moments. It requires a little help sometimes.
Yes, it's like accepting the reality of the work we're doing, and also having boundaries of like, okay, I'm feeling this collective grief. I'm clearing this for myself and not just myself, because not all of it has been mine. But then, okay, I can go into that clearing and really, but then I have a boundary of like, and I deserve to thrive and I deserve to also be in that upliftment, because getting back to that upliftment without bypassing the heaviness is so valuable, because it's like we've fertilized the space around us with it.
Yes, yes, it's
Yeah.
very true. It's a beautiful way of putting it. In its own way, it's nourishing, it's putting nourishment back in. And that's maybe our planet, this dimension that we're lifting out of the third, but the dark and light doesn't necessarily go away. Boom. I don't feel that. It's there always as an option. It's there also as a point of creation. Don't you feel that out of the darkness, there's always the opportunity to spark something new, the embryo stage in the darkness, something beautiful and new grows.
Yeah.
And you've touched on this a little, your elven journey into some of the music is sort of this elven quality, which is perhaps the Fey area you were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
And was that part of your rekindling your spirit with nature?
Definitely.
Okay,
Yes, that was part of returning back to nature. And again, it hasn't been simple because I returned back in this like fairy frequency and I crashed real hard because I didn't have the roots. I was flying without a center. It was when I drank ayahuasca that I can't phrase it any other way than to say shit really hit the fan.
right.
And it was just a full Carly shoo, and it went on for about a year. I was opened way too far, wasn't
Mm.
held correctly, and it was like my channel was so open that I no longer knew who I was. So in ayahuasca's beautiful, tough, but long way, well, not so long, but a way which needed to go through,
Mm.
I was taught to really grow roots and to align with what's truly meant for me. So I was cut off a bit from the fairy sort of realm. And then I'd say in the past 9 months, with roots and with more stability in myself, I've been able to open up again.
Yeah,
Um,
beautiful. Do you have a sense of where this is going in terms of perhaps your voice or the message?
hmm.
Is it evolving?
I have a sense there is a body of work which is coming out soon, and some of it's already on YouTube, but there's going to be a surprise which hasn't been heard yet, and it will be in EP form.
Mhm.
Um, the sense I feel where it's going is bringing it all together, bringing it all together. And that's what has been so overwhelming for me. Because you've got the elves, and you've got the stones, and you've got the goddess, and you've got Christ consciousness, Yeshua, and then you have the soul, and then the pop and the celebration, the fun. It's like, okay. So I'm just trusting that what I feel called to create in the moment is what I need to create. And I am creating that full vision and that full offering where it's sort of the whole, yeah, it's like the whole family.
Oh, that's so exciting. Does it fill you with joy and excitement to be aiming for that?
It's a funny one. It fills my self that was trapped for lifetimes and years with like, is this possible? And
Mm.
then I'm sort of comforting that self, being like, this just is. This is what I'm here to do. And I'm just letting all those parts that don't believe, that didn't believe, the parts that watched Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and saw that as fantasy, to be like, no, you need to believe now. This
Mm.
is real and it's rising and it has risen. I've got to a point now where I love working. It's challenging sometimes. And what I've always struggled with is the amount that wants to be voiced, um, and the amount that I've written and I haven't released.
Yeah.
Um, I was making pop music and I never released it because I just had this thing which was like, no. And I was like purging out my processes, which I'm sure many would resonate, but there wasn't that alchemy. And I'll go into processes where I will record a lot and film, but I won't release anything because I need to integrate that alchemy so it's receivable for people. And that's something that I've had to learn.
And you know within you when it's right.
I'm learning to trust that I know.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'm at right now, of like learning to just trust that I know and not to rush. Because I
Yeah,
also had a complex of like, the world's so wrong. I need to rise and just give. But it's like, I'm going back into the very frequency that
exactly.
we're trying to get out of.
Mm.
So I'm really learning to slow down. And sometimes I'll just sit and just receive the air and just cut all the expectations of myself and just trust. I'm really learning how to do that. But it hasn't
Well,
always, it's been I've had to really push through to get to that, it feels.
if those who are listening to this today could receive one message or frequency, what would you want that to be?
Mm. For all those listening, I'd like to say that we are doing this. We're not trying to do it. We are doing this. And whatever you're going through, just trust that what you're going through and moving through is so valuable for everyone, not just humans, for the planet, for the universe. And when it feels hard, when it feels so heavy, just know that you were designed for this and that you came here for this and that you are breaking through this, that we are doing this.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much for allowing me to be the first.
Oh, it's an honor.
Oh, oh, I really appreciate that. It's very special. And keep making your beautiful music for us that we can share and immerse in and shift within.
Oh, I will. And it feels so nice to know that those frequencies are being received and that they're doing their work. Um, yeah,
You're doing it. Believe you're doing it. Trust.
we're doing this.
We're doing this. Bye bye,
Yeah.
darling. Bye bye. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Bye.
Have